A man is dead. So how does this change America's fight against terrorism? The capture of Osama bin Laden has been the main international business of the United States for nearly a decade. So, with him gone, what now for the so-called war on terror? But was Osama bin Laden lawfully killed? The White House backtracks on its account that the al-Qaeda leader was armed when shot, and the UN calls for more details of the raid to prove its legality. We'll discuss with two former government legal advisors, one American and one British.
I have qualms. If he obviously had his hands up and he was obviously surrendering, then to shoot him would be illegal, improper, immoral.
President Obama visits ground zero with his popularity riding high after the success of the operation in Pakistan. But can he build on it politically?
President Obama has just exorcised a ghost that haunts just about every Democratic president: how to be strong on national security. The question is, how do you build on that?
And the US won't be releasing pictures of a dead Osama bin Laden. But why the clamour for photographic proof anyway? What is it about the capture and deaths of heroes and villains that demands a visual record? Hello. After almost 10 years of trying, the United States of America finally got its most wanted man this week, Osama bin Laden. The al-Qaeda leader was found in a heavily fortified compound in the Pakistani town of Abbottabad after President Obama ordered the go-ahead for a highly secretive mission for his capture. So, with the top terrorist target out of the way, what will it mean for America's campaigns in the other theatres of war like Afghanistan? Our defence editor, Mark Urban, reports.
Even if the US government has long shied away from talking about the war on terror, the fact remains that huge resources are still being pitched against Islamist extremist groups around the world. Indeed, the strike against Osama bin Laden offers the counter-terrorist people to strike further blows in that struggle.
The coup here of capturing bin Laden undoubtedly creates a lot of opportunities. There will be a lot of material collected at the site: cell phones, laptops, all kinds of media that will be exploited. We'll learn a lot of clues about what's happening next. And also, I think it probably will set off a certain fractiousness and argument within al-Qaeda about where they're going next, a struggle over both leadership and future strategy. So all of those things are good for us.
The compound in Abbottabad, where the al-Qaeda leader was killed, has already become a local attraction. Pakistani forces had raided it in 2003. A war of words now rages about whether they did or didn't help America, but Western intelligence officials insist Pakistani agencies didn't and are likely to exploit this failure in their private battles with those organizations.
We've seen in the last few weeks the issue of Raymond Davis, the CIA contractor, being arrested, used by ISI as a way to try and close down CIA unilateral operations that they were not happy about. And obviously they had a certain amount of success with that. This latest episode, to a significant degree, I think, turns the table.
But what about the wider struggle against the Taliban in Afghanistan? The White House denied that bin Laden's death could have any effect on the planned drawdown of US troops there. But Downing Street was keen to stress this might offer a chance to push forwards with disengagement.
Our strategy towards Afghanistan is straightforward and has not changed. We want an Afghanistan capable of looking after its own security without the help of foreign forces. We should take this opportunity to send a clear message to the Taliban. Now is the time to separate themselves from al-Qaeda and to participate in a peaceful political process.
While politicians don't want to miss an opportunity, professional al-Qaeda watchers worry about everything, from retaliation to spin-off movements to their own budgets. While some politicians and bean counters might get the idea that this is the perfect opportunity to declare game over on the so-called war on terror, the world's key intelligence and counter-terrorist organizations are determined to resist that kind of argument. They need to protect their establishment and budget, of course, but even allowing for the fact that they may suffer cuts in the coming years, their view is that Afghanistan and Pakistan will continue to be their prime focus.
I think the focus will remain very much on Pakistan and Afghanistan. We need to bear in mind that it's not just Al-Qaeda. There are lots of groups in both Pakistan and Afghanistan that have the potential to cause problems. Although I think it's important to add that it's really only Al-Qaeda itself that's shown a disposition on a serious and sustained basis to try and undertake terrorist operations outside that immediate theatre.
In Pakistan, there were those who turned out to mourn and honour Osama bin Laden. This banned militant group staged a prayer event. Inevitably, the counter-terrorist agencies will fight their corner against those who argue it's time to move on.
I don't think there's going to be any serious endeavor, any serious effort to cut back on counterterrorism here. I think on Capitol Hill and in the administration, and certainly at the CIA and other intelligence agencies, there's a rich appreciation for the fact that bin Laden may be dead, but Al-Qaeda is not.
The abundance of continued threats and opportunities mean there'll be no let-up soon in the struggle against terrorist groups. But in the longer term, the mission is bound to lose focus and perhaps resources. Now it's lost its bogeyman.
Mark Urban there. A sombre and silent Barack Obama stood at Ground Zero on Thursday, commemorating the victims of the September 11th attacks, before travelling the next day to Fort Campbell in Kentucky to thank some of the US personnel involved in the operation that resulted in bin Laden's death. But it is the growing disquiet surrounding the circumstances of the raid and the changing accounts of it by the White House which are concerning everyone from the UN to the Archbishop of Canterbury. To discuss this, I spoke to the UK Attorney General under Prime Minister Tony Blair, Lord Goldsmith, and former Assistant General Counsel to the CIA, John Radson. John Radson, first of all, is there any doubt in your mind at all that what the US did during that raid might be illegal?
I don't have any doubts about the legality, and I think it's easier for our analysis if we assume that this compound had been bombed by B-52 bombers or by drone strikes. We would have gone in without the permission of the Pakistani government because we suspected that they were unwilling or unable to address the threat, and we would have had a loss of civilian life, most likely people that were not necessarily part of Al-Qaeda, and it's quite possible that bin Laden would have been unarmed. So the legal analysis would have been the same, and I think the moral analysis is the same, but because we went into the compound directly, it's a more direct operation. We have more vivid details, more vivid images of what happened.
You have no qualms about the fact that he was unarmed. You've perhaps heard that the Archbishop of Canterbury here in the United Kingdom is very concerned about whether justice was done?
Sure, I have qualms. If he obviously had his hands up and he was obviously surrendering, then to shoot him would be illegal, improper, immoral. But we should put ourselves in the minds of those Navy SEALs who are operating under great stress. Sure, they have advanced technology, but they don't know whether bin Laden or his people are reaching for an arm. They don't know whether that compound has been booby-trapped. They don't know that other people with arms will arrive there. It's very easy for us in the safety of a studio to look back at what happened in that situation and to second-guess the SEALs and the people that commanded them.
Well, Lord Goldsmith, let's unpack a bit of that. First of all, would Britain have undertaken a raid such as